5 records at Trusty Spot Records and Tees. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Action! It's a TV show. Action! Hi, I'm Dave at Trusty Spot Records and Tees in Chesterton, Indiana. This is going to be our first endeavor at having a little YouTube presence. So we've not done that before. We do the Instagrams and the whatnots, but here we are going on YouTube. Does YouTube need another channel that talks about records? Probably not, but what's different about this, Dave? Well, I'll tell you. This is about records that are in our shop right now. So what I thought we'd start doing is maybe like 5 records in the shop, or 5 records at Trusty Spot right now, 5 good used records. I don't know. I don't have a title for it yet, but we're going to talk about 5 records. Without further ado, let's start off. The Electric Flag, Chicago's own. So this is their release, a long time coming, made in 1968, I believe. Buddy Miles is percussion in this band. Buddy Miles, known as the baddest drummer on the planet. Also does some vocal work on here. Also, you've got the Paul Butterfield Blues Band guys in here. I believe Barry Goldberg and Mike Bloomfield are both on this thing. It's just such a great example of like psych rock mixed with blues and soul. It's super cool. So these guys all played with everybody. They played with Jimi Hendrix. Well, Buddy played with Jimi Hendrix. Mike and Barry, they played with Bob Dylan and everybody else. So really, this is like an amazing mix of soul and blues and psych rock. It's a must-have. It's in great shape. It's right here in the shop right now. Okay, Richard Laviolette, Taking the Long Way Home. Beautiful Canadian singer and songwriter. Richard was a prolific songwriter too. Lots of records. If you like people like Jason Molina, Elliot Smith, John Prine, maybe even like a little bit of Jason Isbell as far as like, you know, the lyrical talent kind of a thing, then you owe yourself a listen to Richard Laviolette. This is a beautiful record. All the best elements of like folk and country, and really deserves to be heard. Unfortunately, Richard passed away last September 2023 at the age of 41. Listen to his records. They need to be heard. Okay, The Travel Agency, self-titled, The Travel Agency. Now, this is an amazing album. When you think of like LA pop, psych rock stuff, these guys were really a great example of what was going on at the time. This is 1968. It's their debut, but it's also their finale. They just fell off the map. They're an LA band. One of the guys I think was from here in Indiana. But this has like everything that tickles that spot in my brain, like fuzzy guitars and soulful vocals, that kind of thing. This record goes for big bucks on eBay and Discogs. This is a pristine copy. We've got it for $50 in the shop right now. I think I'm gonna sell it. Part of me wants to keep it. If it's in the bins, it's fair game. So I'll probably have it in the bins. All right, Elliot Fist. I'm not a completely uncultured swine. This is called Elliot Fisk guitar. It's actually a classical acoustic guitar record. Elliot plays some Bach and Scarlatti on here. This is part of Mark Levinson's acoustic recording series. So Mark Levinson devoted his whole life to reproducing sound, and so how to best record things, how to make things sound their best without messing with them too much. The whole acoustic recording series he did, he endeavored to do it with as minimally invasive as possible. So not many edits, that kind of thing. He wanted the artist to kind of play through. Elliot's an incredible guitar player. This is a beautiful record. Came out in '78. This one in particular, it's 45 RPM. It's a French pressing. It's the only version of this. There are no other pressings. This thing's barely seen a needle. It's beautiful. Highly recommend. Lastly, but not leastly, McDonald and Giles. Okay, so these guys, Ian McDonald and Michael Giles, they were in King Crimson. This is like a must-have for any King Crimson fans. Right after Crimson did In the Court of the Crimson King, these dudes left the band. They made this record. This record's real proggy, and it's got its own kind of weirdness to it. But what I like the most of it, it really does kind of sound like two guys. It's like a snapshot of them like trying to figure out what their future holds and where they're going to go next. I mean, that sounds very dramatic, but it's beautiful. It's really cool because like they didn't know what they were doing. They were young. So this is one you should listen to. Also, your boy Steve Winwood shows up on here playing a little bit of the old piano. That's it. 5 records in the shop right now. I hope you enjoyed it. That wasn't too painful for me to make it. So I'm sure when I watch it back, I'll throw up or something, but that's all right. We're going to put it on YouTube. All right, Trusty Spot Records and Tees, open 24/7, trustyspot.com, or right here in Chesterton, Indiana, 6 days a week. Tuesday through Sunday till 6 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
5 records at Trusty Spot Records and Tees. Ba-ba-da-ba-da, ba-ba-da.